Hey, it's Kendall, and this is 90-Second Church. Before we start, if you haven't already done so, click our YouTube subscribe button or follow us on Facebook so you get notified when the next episode comes out. Today we're in Mark chapter 8, verses 14 to 16, where we find Jesus and his disciples in their boat headed to a town called Bethsaida. But the disciples had forgotten to bring any food. They only had one loaf of bread with them in the boat. As they were crossing the lake, Jesus warned them, "Watch out! Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees." At this, they began to argue with each other because they hadn't brought any bread. So the disciples are hungry, and they're fighting like a bunch of spoiled brats in the back seat of the car, and you can almost hear Jesus sigh and say, "Do I have to stop this car right now?" And then he says something unexpected. Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees. So what does that mean? And what does that have to do with being hungry? Well, actually nothing. What's significant here is the word yeast. See, we think of yeast as fresh and wholesome. It's what makes bread delicious, right? But in Jesus' day, they used leaven, not yeast. And leaven was simply a piece of last week's dough kept moist and still kind of fermenting so that it would make this week's bread rise. But the problem was that leaven could go bad, and then it would poison the whole loaf and every loaf after. And what Jesus is saying here is be careful not to follow the poisonous path of the Pharisees. They see me do miracles, they watch me heal, they hear me teach, and yet they refuse to believe. And the worst part about it is belief is a poison, and it is contagious. So, disciples, be on your guard. Actively choose to trust me, to follow me, to believe in me in every situation. That's how you stay fresh and pure and delicious in God's kingdom. We'll talk to you soon.